And we welcome you to a holiday extravaganza. It is award season on This Is Wrestling. That's why I'm here, Lee Versage. Top wrestling mind of the year in Ashton. Also, Zach McGibbon is here. Zach, listen, Belleville's a lot tougher market than Ashton.
Yes.
You got some direct competition from the Predictriver.
Yes.
Who hails from there.
Yeah. Well, he's closer to Napanee, Kingston area, but unless you want to include him in that general vicinity.
They don't say Avril Lavigne's from Belleville. They say she's from Napanee.
From Napanee, yeah.
Yeah. Nice to see you, and nice award season as the year comes to a close, 2025. We are going to do our best to give the TIW Awards.
I love it. I brought my finest tuxedo for this moment. I know it's audio, but
people can't see you.
Yeah.
You are looking as sharp.
That's right.
I don't want to call you the Dapper Yapper.
Well, Justin Roberts.
But you're dapper and you yap a lot. And you probably deserve that title more than Justin Roberts does.
Yes.
That's a bad title for him. But we are going to go through a bunch of different awards, and we are going to sort of play off of the Sports Illustrated wrestling awards and just going to cover some of the same categories. So they, promotion of the year, male and female wrestler of the year, tag team, best in the ring, best on the mic, breakout star, storyline of the year, rivalry of the year, and show of the year. We'll go through all of those different categories. This is the fun stuff. This is the fun stuff, Zach. And it's debate season. We're going to probably get into a couple of debates.
I love it. Get fired up.
One that we're going to start off with, I don't expect
there
to be a debate on, but we'll see.
All right.
It's possible. The promotion of the year, the best promotion of 2025, Zach McGibbon, was what?
So it's not WWE. I know there's going to be some people that are like, is Zach going to pick WWE after the year they've had and all the shows that he's reviewed, and he's had to sit through countless PLEs and just enjoy every single one of them?
It would be a stark turn of events. We would need some explanation from you.
Yeah.
If it was the WWE.
Yeah.
You're like, basically I hated everything all year, but
they made a lot of money. I mean, I have to take that in consideration.
They told me that they made a lot of money.
Yeah, they made it an emphasis. They said on the programming how much money they made.
Right.
More than a Taylor Swift concert with less people in there than a Taylor Swift concert. So
it will not be the WWE.
No, it will not be. It will not be the WWE. No. So we'll just get that out of the way.
It could only be for me. It came down to two.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to hear what WWE was not in one of those two.
No, WWE was not. I wanted to vote elsewhere from AEW, if I'm being honest, because I feel like it's just the safe pick.
Yep.
I've tried to expand out this year. I try to watch more for Lucha Libre in Mexico, CMLL. Obviously a big New Japan guy back in the day, not as much anymore because they're very much in a big rebuilding phase, and time catches up. You got to divert your attention to different things.
Evil still wrestles there.
And Evil still wrestles there.
Probably wasn't. They weren't going to win promotion of the year.
Shockingly, he's not going to win best wrestler of the year either. So just be aware of that. So AEW feels like the safe answer here. Mm-hmm. I really wanted to go CMLL. The thing with those CMLL shows when you watch them is that they're not necessarily filled with storylines. They're kind of more like attractions because it's more of a tourism-based promotion. Mm-hmm. It's big there. They sell a lot of tickets. If I was looking at it from the Observer Awards standpoint and I incorporate that into promotion of the year, they'd probably be pretty high up in beating AEW. But for the sake of the comparison to the SI Wrestling Awards, I'm going to look at it more from a creative standpoint. New Japan had a real tough year this year creatively. So many missed opportunities with them. They did the Tanahashi retirement tour, and it's going to come up at Wrestle Kingdom. We'll see how that's going to go in 2026. That's going to be a big time show for them. But for this year, just this is not the same New Japan I remember watching from 2015 onwards. So I am going to pick All Elite Wrestling. I don't think this is their best creative year or anything like that, but I do think they got themselves back on the right track here in terms of, 2023, 2024, all the stuff with the MJF storyline with Adam Cole. Really,
I knew you were going to bring that up. I just
brought him down.
I knew, because honestly, if you juxtapose where they were with MJF, Adam Cole, and things that they were doing as opposed to what they are doing now, I would agree with you. I don't know if it's the best they've ever done, but they are not where they were when they were doing the silly stuff.
No, they've gotten back into focus, and some of the signings they've made this year has also been very good. They're not these big former WWE names. They've started, other than, maybe Hurt Business, I guess, would be their big WWE signings. But they went out there and made really good strategic signings that work well for them, like a Josh Alexander, a Speedball Mike Bailey, a Tekla as well. Like kind of those names where they are taking that next step to be in sort of TV exposure, as opposed to guys that have already been exposed on mainstream TV for so long. Their TV age is old. So they're getting some newer people onto the roster. So I'm going to pick All Elite Wrestling. Again, not their strongest year. They've had some really good shows, obviously. There's so many times with All Elite Wrestling that they can be frustrating because they just they have this roster, and when everything comes together, they are easily the best promotion in the world. But there's so many things that kind of go against them in terms of some of the stories. So I know this is me picking them promotion of the year, and I'm not giving them a resounding case, but this hasn't exactly been a resounding case this year for a lot of these promotions. So I think out of all of them, I'm going to pick All Elite Wrestling as my promotion of the year.
Yeah, this might be a bad example. So I'm also going AEW. And look, it did come down to AEW and CMLL for me as well. But again, I think if you go back, so I tried to go back and watch some of the CMLL stuff where it's not just, oh, you should go and watch this match, right? Like, it's hard to watch all of the promotions. And I do, like, unlike you, I do watch NXT.
Yeah.
Now,
was it in consideration this year?
No, it didn't. Didn't make the cut. No,
oh, it did make the cut.
Did not.
Okay.
And look, by watching, I mean, I go through it every week, is what I should say.
Yeah.
Because I do not spend 2.5 hours of watching that show and Raw and SmackDown. Like, I will go through it and see what's, like, I'll, start at the beginning and
and keep in touch with some of their big prospects that are there.
Like that's exactly it.
Yep.
I really like the fact of what, like, Ethan Page was doing, and now up, he's the North American champion, and him and Chelsea are like the, as Chelsea calls it, the triple
Yes. Triple
Yeah. The mixed champions, and they're doing some good stuff there. However, I liken it this year to a bit of a baseball analogy, where it's like some years in baseball, the person leading the league in hitting hits 340. Some years they hit 309 or 299.
Right.
But they're still the best. But it wasn't the greatest year for any hitter.
Right.
I would say 2025, unfortunately, like, AEW wins this because they put on a pay-per-view a month. And usually those pay-per-views are really good. Now, again, I don't want to bash them to the promotion of the year, but their storytelling has not all been connected nearly as much as I would like. But when you do compare it to, like, for me, I watch NXT and WWE and TNA, and I try my best to watch CMLL. I try my best to watch some New Japan. I don't know that, like, even if you watch NXT or if you watch some of the other shows, you go, oh, okay, like, there's a match here or there that's pretty good. There's a wrestler here or there that's standout wrestler. But time after time after time, NXT doesn't have unbelievable, you can't miss these shows every month. They don't. And neither does any promotion, except for AEW, because very rarely do you walk away from an AEW pay-per-view and go, that was a bad show. Again, like to see it connected more on Dynamite, like to see some different things, but their pay-per-views this year have been very, very good. And nobody else comes close to having multiple big shows be, wow, that was a really good show.
Yeah.
When you walk away from it.
Yeah.
So for that alone, AEW promotion of the year. We are in agreement on that. Okay. We're going to kind of go back and forth because we'll mix up the categories here a little bit. So I'm going to go best on mic here and this one came down to me for number one, the promotions and how much they allow their talent to have the time to be able to tell stories properly, to be able to go out there and get people into what they're doing. And that's the key for me, is like, can you get people to want to watch you consistently? And for me, like, we all have a little bit of our own personality into these awards and what it means to us. Best on the mic for me means there's only a few people in the business that when they come out, I really want to stop what I'm doing and listen to what they have to say. So, for example, for a long time, CM Punk used to be that.
Yep.
He is no longer that.
Correct.
For me. But when he came out, it was like, okay, CM Punk is talking, has a mic. I am stopping what I'm doing and I am listening. That's important to me. There's only a few people right now. It doesn't mean other people are bad at it. Maybe they'll get there, but there's a few people that come out and they really engage me. Like I'm with them as they are talking. Maybe a bit of a surprise. But for me, the one person that every time he's allowed time on the microphone to be able to tell the proper story and get me engaged and come across also as authentic. Because that's a big consideration for me. Like, you might not believe what you're saying, but do I think you believe what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
If that makes any sense.
Yep.
Because if you're talking and I think you don't believe what you're saying, you might be amazing, but I'm still not nearly as engaged. I'm going to give this one to Hangman Adam Page, because for me, I'm almost surprised every time he starts talking how I feel at the end of what he has had to say. I'm always more, oh my God, let's go. Like he there's just something about him that is real authentic. He doesn't get thrown off in big moments. You could put him out there to do anything. If you recall earlier this year, I want to say it was earlier this year because everything blends together. Right. When he came out and did the Spanish.
Yes. Oh, yep. When they were at the CMLL show in Arena, Mexico. Yeah. Yep.
Which was incredible.
Yep.
That he did the entire promo in Spanish. That's a dedication to a craft. And for some people, it comes easy. And other people, you don't see that type of dedication. The respect that he had to do it in Spanish, because he doesn't speak Spanish naturally. He's just the most, when he comes out, there are other people, there's a few others in wrestling that when they come out, I want to hear exactly what they have to say and stop. But no more. That's what does it for me. No more than Hangman, that I am, pun intended, I'm hanging off every word he has to say.
Right. I was also going to pick Hangman. I was also looking at Hangman. There's two guys.
Really?
There's two guys I was thinking about.
Okay. So so you're not going to pick Tony Storm?
Oh God, no.
Okay.
No.
Because I didn't think so. You don't like Tony Storm. But
no.
Sports Illustrated, the reason I bring her up is because Sports Illustrated gave Tony Storm best on the mic.
Yeah.
And I can see why.
Yep.
Because a different type of humor than almost anyone's ever brought. And for most people, it's hilarious. For most people, it's put her at a different level than any other women's wrestler out there. So I understand why they gave it to her, because it does hit right in the nose. Does she make you more engaged to watch her when she's out there? For me, the answer was yes, she does. It's just for when she talks, I find it funny. I think she comes up with these one-liners that are pretty hilarious. But when she's out there on the microphone, I'm not like, oh my God, Toni Storm is talking. I have to listen to every word. I don't feel that way, which is why but I get why they gave it to her.
Yeah.
So she won, just for reference sake.
I noticed you said most like her.
Yeah.
And most like this. And I was like, I wonder who that little part is talking about that doesn't like these promos as much.
Okay. So who is yours then?
So I was thinking Hangman and I was thinking Jon Moxley.
Okay.
This is going to be the one where it's like, remember when we got that email, is like the fact that I even mentioned putting over Jon Moxley. So, but you have to like look at some of the stuff that the promos that he's been able to cut. Like, I'm not going to go Jon Moxley because the first quarter of 2025 was just like still a figuring out period for the Death Riders. But after that, like he figures it out. He's such an engaging speaker, and his promos behind the scenes, backstage, I think he's like been able to hone it down. And every time he talks, like I get what he's saying. Like it's something different and it catches my attention. The thing that puts it back is I wish he was more consistent throughout the year. And I think with Hangman, he's been able to be consistent throughout the year in terms of his promos. He's always been a guy that you could rely on to go out there and cut a promo and be reliable. So like what you mentioned in Mexico, being able to, talk about his experience with tobacco farmers and just in general, like the lead up into the match with Jon Moxley, funny enough, at All In, I thought he was tremendous. Some of the stuff we've seen the last couple of months with Samoa Joe, he's also been a fantastic promo during that. So I'm going to go with Hangman here. I wanted to pick Jon Moxley because I really like his promos just from a style perspective and like engaging and honing in on a character, but I can't go that route with the consistency aspect. So I'm going to pick Hangman as well.
Yeah. I think I don't know about you, but I think for a lot of people listening, it's just been a bit of an off year for MJF.
Yep. He hasn't been on TV as much either.
Right. So he left for a while, but he also got caught kind of in a weird, where he wasn't quite in the title picture and, he's feuding with Mark Briscoe, and not that it was bad and Briscoe beat him and then he left, but like, he did the Mystico stuff and with CMLL, which is good, but there's not a huge back and forth there all the time because of the language barrier. If you're talking like all around best on the mic and not just looking at 2025, he has to be there. And even what he did at World's End, as the show before World's End on Dynamite to put himself back in the title picture was incredible. But he did not consistently either have the chance or do it all year long. And so for me, that's I'm just really pleased that you didn't bring up Big Stoke, because I thought he was going to win. Thought he was going to win for sure.
My man, Big Stoke. He's not my best on the mic. I love Big Stoke, but not enough there on the tape.
Okay.
Trust me, I would have, if there was more on tape, he'd be in the mix. Will Ospreay also would have been in the mix as well, but he was also somebody that dealt with injury. He continues to be underrated as a promo. So
yeah, he's getting better.
Yeah.
I had Kenny Omega. No.
Kenny Omega. Yeah.
Okay, so let's
hit and miss that guy on promos.
Yeah.
Sometimes when he's locked in, he can nail it, but then other times it's like, I'm gonna be really funny now because I'm a funny wrestler.
Yeah, more
it's
miss.
It's like, Kenny.
more misses than hits.
Yes.
Let's go to female wrestler of the year. I'm interested in this one.
Yeah, this is interesting. There might be a thought of a WWE wrestler in this category.
Mm-hmm.
Might be a thought of a WWE wrestler. I I've been debating on it. I've liked the year that Io Sky has had. I wish it was a little bit more prominently featured.
Yep.
The match she had at WrestleMania that was really good. And also, you know, the Rhea Ripley match before Naomi ran in and cashed in, and
Tremendous match.
a tremendous match. And then Naomi cashed in and the fans cheered.
Yeah.
The heel.
Yeah.
So, because we live in a weird society, Lee, and nothing is ever right. I also look at Mercedes Moné, and
Well, she got 18 million championships.
of
It's
course, I
hard
mean, from
to
a
not-
pure accomplishment standpoint, like what a year for Mercedes Moné. I'm not picking Toni Storm on this one either, although she's had some good matches. Like that's the thing with her, is that once she actually gets in the ring, she has some really good matches. I think of the Mariah May match earlier this year. You know, however I feel about the storyline going into it, the actual final match itself was fantastic. And then the match she had with Mercedes Moné at All In, I think also deserves some consideration. But those are really the only two matches there for Toni Storm. So to me, it's between two wrestlers. It's between Mercedes Moné and Io Sky. And I'm going to pick Mercedes Moné to get the win, because I think she continues to show she is the best women's wrestler out there. And she, like some of the matches she had this year, the match with Chris Statlander this year as well was really, really good. As mentioned earlier, Toni Storm, and being able to travel and have these different matches as well. I'm going to pick Mercedes Moné. I was close to making a WWE pick here with Io Sky, because I think there's a lot to like, and she is their best, not only probably their best women's wrestler, but probably their best pure wrestler on that roster. Like she's very, very good. But I'm giving the edge to Moné because I think there's a little bit more on the plate. Nothing against Io Sky. It's just how that system there in WWE is in terms of going out there and having great matches.
One of the things I like about Mercedes Moné that I think gets underrated is the fact that she obviously had a dominant year accomplishment wise, but when you go back and you look at some of the matches, even the matches she lost were really good. Like losing to Statlander, really good.
Yeah.
Losing a couple of the belts that she's had, still really good matches. She's not my wrestler of the year because of the titles. She's my wrestler of the year because consistently from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, she didn't have a lot of duds. It's sometimes we pick apart the best because we want them to be even better because we like them.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people sometimes don't understand. The most heavily criticized people are usually the people that you enjoy the most because you want every ounce out of them because you like them.
Yeah.
The other people, you don't care. So while there has been some hiccups in the matches that Mercedes Moné has,
Yep.
I think if you stacked up all of the matches that she has had over 2025, and you're like, oh, yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. That was a good one. And it kept going.
Yeah.
So
Jamie Hayter match as well. Should mention the final of the Owen Hart tournament that just kind of popped in. That was great. Like rugged. I remember saying at the time, it was like a rugged match. I was like, that was really good. So yeah, it's Mercedes Moné. I'll give an honorable mention, and it's going to be a purely like me honorable mention that I will probably only know, but I think deserves a mention. In Stardom, there's a wrestler by the name of Saya Kamatani, who's they're kind of their ace in Stardom right now. And
I think she won best. She won one of the categories, not in this award, but like best entrance.
Yeah.
And I went back and watched it. It was incredible.
Yeah. She is, she's been their new ace of Stardom over there in a year that's kind of been a downfall. The only reason why I didn't pick Saya Kamatani is because I have not seen a Saya Kamatani match, and I've been told to go watch it. So I figured I would give the honorable mention because I know you're going to see that name pop up a lot, and she will probably be somebody that'll be featured for our audience in terms of AEW programming that will eventually show up. But she is a kind of a big star to keep an eye on, and she's somebody that's considered like a big business mover for Stardom right now. So
I I think it could have been. I think second place should be Chris Statlander. Like, I think she had a really good year. The only issue for me with Chris Statlander that Mercedes Moné sort of beats is that I still want to see Statlander be the leader in every match she has and not just have a great match because her opponent is great.
Yeah.
So when she can start having great matches with other people because she's in the match, and that's what Mercedes Moné does.
Yep.
Mercedes Moné does it. Like, yeah, there's talent across the other side of the ring, but she can do it in a number of different ways with a number of different talents. She doesn't need the other person to be an absolute star, where I feel like Statlander is still at that point where she had some really good matches this year and she became the champion, but she's got to be the person that drags other people along. Like, I'm still waiting for Rhea Ripley to do that a little bit, but and we could have a whole other discussion. I don't know what happened to women's wrestling in WWE this year.
It's taken a,
like,
other than
Io
Sky. It's
but I don't know what happened to it.
Yeah.
Like it used to be. It used to matter. The champions used to be, the people that meant something, whether it was Charlotte or whether it was Becky, or like it just doesn't.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean anything right now. Like Jade Cargill is a champion, and you're like, I don't even know how she really got there.
Well, they've also had a hard time elevating their next generation of women's wrestlers after your Beckys and Charlottes and your Sasha Banks. Like, it should have been Bianca Belair, and I will continue to bang that drum every year.
What happened to her? She broke her finger, and then it was like she's out for months.
Disappeared. Yeah. Tiffany Stratton should have been that, but obviously, first of all, she's being booked miscast as a babyface.
I feel like they're rebranding her right now and waiting for her to come back in 2026 and hopefully be what you're talking about. Yeah. But it almost should have been her year. Yeah. And for a lot of reasons, it was not.
No, it's a very frustrating year for her.
Yeah.
And this came in with a lot of hype. I wasn't as high up on the hype, but I thought there was certainly a lot of upside. But man, just the year that she had, the disappointing matches with Charlotte's and
well, and Charlotte's a whole other story.
And Charlotte's,
nowhere near the top. Like,
no, something's clearly been affecting her, and Becky, like, Becky's Becky. Like, I think people have this idea she's this great wrestler, but she's really not she's more charisma and
she's not a great wrestler
potential, but she's not a great wrestler. Like, when you put her in there with another great wrestler, she can elevate herself to that level. But like, in terms of like, going in there, like, name me a great Becky Lynch match this year.
No, I mean, even her, right? You heard her talk about how, like, the match with Lyra, she thought was crap. And then it was John Cena that had to pump her up afterwards. And she has not, even the ones with Maxine was like,
yeah. Well, people, you want to talk about gassing up matches. The amount of people that are gassing up the Maxine Dupree stuff with Becky Lynch, it's like, let's pump the brakes a little bit, you know?
Yep.
Maxine Dupree, she's not exactly Lioness Asuka out there wrestling.
There you go. You got one of your bits in.
I got my bit.
So let's go to the breakout wrestler of the year. This one's going to be hard to go away from what Sports Illustrated did. But I want to hear something.
Yes.
Give me something, Zach, that's away from who Sports Illustrated picked in their breakout wrestler of the year.
Well, I could make another mention of a WWE name.
Oh, excellent.
Braun Breaker potentially is a breakout wrestler of the year candidate. In terms of getting on there, like, not right at the world title scene yet, which, I've been banging that drum last couple of months,
is scheduled.
Yep. He's going to take on Punk
January 5th.
Yeah. In the new year. So, so, I mean, Braun Breaker came in and somebody that, like, clearly, like, once he debuted on that roster and he got his confidence back, like, there was a time in NXT where it's like he showed up and you're like, yeah, this is a guy. That he kind of was faltering. And then, funny enough, he tag teams with Baron Corbin and then seems to kind of reinvent himself in that tag team, and then gets called up into WWE and has been somebody that you have seen the improvement with him and he's had some viral moments as well with the spears. So you can make an argument for Braun Breaker for this year. I think next year will be an even stronger case for Breakout Wrestler of the Year. So I can make a case for Braun Breaker if I wanted to. But I can't. I mean, it's Kyle Fletcher. I mean, what are we doing here? Like, it's Kyle Fletcher.
Well, no, like, look, there are.
It's Kyle Fletcher.
To be fair,
yeah,
I think the people to me that would be 2 and 3 on this list, like Leon Slater went from a 20-year-old guy that was just like a new kid in TNA coming up. Like, we got a lot of belief in this kid, but he's just a 20-year-old raw rookie in TNA. The guy went to being on John Cena's last show as a TNA, what's the X Division champ?
Yep.
And honestly, considered probably one of the next big things in the next couple of years.
Yep.
Like, to me, Leon Slater had himself one hell of a year as a 20 turning 21 in September. And all the things that he went from an absolute nobody to being, we can't leave him off of the John Cena farewell show. That's a big year.
Yeah.
That's a big year for a kid that is one of those kids that you're like, oh my God, I got to watch that kid again. And look, you could put Javon Evans in there as well. I think, unfortunately for Javon Evans, he's almost getting overshadowed by Leon Slater. If Leon Slater wasn't here, we'd be talking about Javon Evans a lot. And he deserves a lot of credit too.
Mm-hmm.
So I would put Leon Slater very close, but not at the level that Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah.
Was that?
That's a great pick, Leon Slater, to be in the conversation. I think he has much more upside than Javon Evans, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. Well, he's got one of the biggest upsides of a young wrestler I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's like that. You look at him and you're like, that guy could legitimately be the best wrestler in the world in the next 5 years.
Yes. And that's a tough comparison because I don't disagree with you on the Javon Evans point, but that doesn't mean Javon Evans can't be like one of the top 5 guys in the next 5 years either. Like, I think both of them could be if it all worked out. But Kyle Fletcher went from a tag team specialist. And yes, he turned like in 2024 and he started doing singles matches near the end in the Breakout for Mark Davis. And he was sort of on the cusp, but we felt like, okay, can he turn the corner and become like a big star in 2025? That's exactly what he did.
Yeah.
Everything he did was right. The guy had, the cage match with Will Ospreay, incredible. Every match he was in was like, he faced Ospreay a couple of times. We saw him live in the main event of All Out with Hangman. It was incredible to see him in that spot. And of course, he won the TNT championship. I feel like he lost it because they're going to rocket him up. And look, as we're speaking, we don't know who won the Continental Classic.
Yeah.
But he made the semis. And I just think that Kyle Fletcher went from another young up and coming prospect. Can he get to, I mean, it's hard, right? Get to a main event level with guys like the young guys that are there in AEW, like Will Ospreay, like MJF, like Swerve Strickland, like even Hangman, and like their main event scene is geared a little bit younger. And where they needed, what put this one over the top for me and better than Leon Slater was that with a lot of guys getting injured or leaving for movies or whatever they were doing. I mean, they had, Adam Copeland and MJF and Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland and all of those guys gone out for significant periods of time. They needed somebody to come up and be that next guy now because we have to have it. And he seized every opportunity and now is solidified as a main event star. And for money, or for kind of the cherry on top, signed a huge new deal with AEW.
Yep.
To make sure he is going to be there for a long time. And apparently did it on a beach in Jamaica with Sky Blue.
Yeah. What a life.
24 years old.
Yeah, unbelievable. So
26 years old. Sorry.
Good for him.
Yeah, one of my favorite. He was on, if you want a good interview, or he was on with Chris Van Vliet, who does a lot of the feature long interviews with some of the top guys. But when they're interviewing Kyle Fletcher and they're like, oh, who are your inspirations like growing up, especially like on the mic? And he's like, well, I gotta say it, The Miz.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like,
which is surprising because it's like
well,
there's not a lot of overlap between Kyle Fletcher and The Miz.
No, but I think more from the time frame, right? Like Kyle Fletcher was born in 98.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, you're taking your inspiration as a teenager from guys that like in the mid 2000s.
Yep.
Like 2014, 2015, like those are the guys that Kyle Fletcher was watching as a 15-year-old going, yeah, I want to be like him.
Yep.
Makes me feel really old.
Because he's awesome, as The Miz once said.
I think he still says it.
Yeah, multiple times, actually. He said it multiple times. You've said it to me on this show, too, and in a mocking way, because you know of my, fanaticism for The Miz.
Well, he came to play a lot, Zach.
He did come to play. He came to play on Cena's retirement show, and
he got in the tournament twice.
Yeah. Still surreal.
I love me some Miz, so I get why Fletcher would say that. But I think the point is, for me, if the WWE had major injuries and Leon Slater was able to put himself all of a sudden in a spot where he's in the world title picture and like legitimately there, and you believe him that he's there, that's another step, right? Yeah. So it depends what you mean by breakout. I think Leon Slater for me was a close second, but Kyle Fletcher had an incredible year.
Hard to deny, especially main eventing a pay-per-view this year at All Out, which we got to see.
And most times on a promotion that has an incredible history now of shows where their pay-per-views are really good.
Yeah.
How many times 2025 you go back and go like Kyle Fletcher had the best match?
Yeah.
No, he had great opponents too, but like Kyle Fletcher had the best match on the card.
Yep.
Whether it was in the middle of the card or at the end of the card or.
Yeah, I think it was Dynasty this year where he had the match with Mark Briscoe, and I was like, this might be the best match on the card.
Right.
And I was like, they'll have a good match, but they ended up probably having the best match of the night.
They had a few really good matches this year.
Really good chemistry.
And again, he, great feud with Ospreay, and then they needed him to step up to be in the main event with Hangman in Toronto at All Out, and he did a great job there. I think that's the match that they said, okay, like we're pretty much ready to take that TNT title off of him because we're going to rocket him up to the world title picture. Tag Team of the Year. I can tell you that my pick is not the pick that Sports Illustrated.
It's not?
No.
It is for me. It's pretty easy for me too, actually. This is my tag team of the year. It's FTR. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is like, I've loved everything they've done this year. This is where I get my big Stoke shout out in there. So but the whole act has been fantastic. I thought the match that they had with Adam Copeland and Christian Cage in Toronto this year was fantastic. I love the heel promos that they cut too. Like, I think FTR overall has been a tremendous team this year and just consistent. And the heel work has been fantastic. The matches have been solid as well. Like in a year where I think it's been tough for me in terms of trying to find other great tag teams that I've really enjoyed, I think FTR continues to stand head and shoulders above everybody else in terms of their tag team division this year. So I'm going to pick FTR. There's only one other tag team that comes to mind that I think is your pick.
Okay.
But,
who's that?
I'm thinking you're going to say Brodito.
Okay.
But and they had a real fun run. I just went for it in terms of consistency throughout the year. While Brodito at their peaks in that stretch were really, really fun. I can't go long enough. And then, I'm not going to rehash the Young Bucks stuff where, again, a couple weeks ago, they were battling for the $1 million. we're eventually, like I said, we're going to get to 5 million soon, maybe 10 million. Like it's going to like keep on doubling up on each other. So I can't with the Bucks, even though they had some great matches this year. The gimmick is just what puts me off. So that is going to be my pick.
So I'm not going to go Brodito.
Okay. That's what I thought it was going to be.
Because I would say Brodito in a 6-month span, in like if you hand pick the dates from beginning to end, if we had a breakout tag team or a tag team that I didn't think would be legitimate and then were legitimate, like they cover all of that. They just didn't do it for the entirety of 2025. I am definitely going the Young Bucks.
You are definitely going the Young Bucks.
And it's not, to me, it's not even that close.
Oh, really? Okay. I don't think it's close this year. Other years, absolutely, but not this year.
So I loved the gimmick. You didn't, and that's fine. Like, it's not the $1 million, but what they did to entertain this year, you can tell me like, oh, I'm Gibbon. I'm Z Gibbon. That's my name. And I am a hardcore professional. I love professional wrestling.
Yeah.
So I love FTR. Yeah. And they're going to come out in jackets.
That's right.
And, we'll have a t-shirt and we're going to talk and we're going to have some good wrestling.
God damn right.
Right. But the creativity of what the Young Bucks were able to do in coming out to all the different entrances and having no money and all the different things, whether like, did every single one of them work? No, but for the entirety of the gimmick, they really tried to push the boundaries and do a whole bunch of stuff. I'm going to ask you what you thought the best FTR match of the year was.
It's probably that Copeland and Christian Cage match for me. That's right up there.
Okay. So, and that's fair. Like, look, FTR won it for Sports Illustrated. They won it for you. Like, this is not a bashing FTR thing. It's very possible that the Young Bucks against Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland was the best match of the year. Not the best tag team match of the year.
Just the overall
but the best match of the year. So if you want to tell me about FTR against 2 50-year-olds and say that was their best, okay.
I would also argue the Brodito match too at Full Gear was also a fantastic match.
Yes.
That was also a great match.
What, for FTR?
Yep.
Yeah, it was good. It was okay, but.
And how could I forget on the All In Texas 0 Hour match, the FTR versus the Outrunners match?
So this is actually going to be my biggest point to you.
Okay.
That multiple shows in a row, the FTR was on 0 Hour. Come on, man. Honestly.
I like the speedball match too when they were brawling into the show. That was awesome that they did it again and totally ruined what made it unique because they did it again.
No, but FTR were so good, the best tag team in all of professional wrestling, that they couldn't even get on the main show, like multiple shows in a row.
Well, Tony Khan can't book. That's the
no,
thing. No, I can't get that one.
You can't. You already called AEW the promotion of the year.
No, you're right.
So this is my argument back to you that stuff never happened with the Young Bucks.
Yep.
Okay. No Young Bucks leading in on 0 Hour multiple times to get people to buy the show. No, they were in the main show and having the best matches on the main show. So while this might not be this is not the best year that the Young Bucks have ever had. But when you compare it to a really, like, WWE is so hard because their tag team division is so bad. Or
so lackluster.
But it's not necessarily the wrestler's fault. They just don't care about the tag team belts. Right. So they don't treat them well. So then how are they ever going to get real teams?
Yeah. But AJ Styles, Dragon Lee.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Tag team of the year.
So I don't even fault necessarily the wrestlers. That's the promotion not doing a good job in elevating their belts. I think AEW put a renewed focus on their tag team belts this year. But from the comedic stuff that the Young Bucks were doing with no money and all the different, like, lack of pyro and no entrance music and all the different things they did to make it a little different and catch people's attention, and still having, like, every time they were out there going, the Young Bucks still had a great match, one of the best matches on the card. They have a match of the year candidate. And they weren't fooling around on 0 Hour. Okay. And that's on
It's
FTR.
a fun match.
No, yeah, but that's on FTR.
Oh, come on. They're not booking their own matches
You didn't,
on their own placement on the card.
yes, because they're not that. Okay. It's hard because they're not trying to bash FTR because I like FTR.
Yeah.
But
I also like the Bucks for the record.
yeah, but they only have, like, FTR's kind of got this one level of we're the best wrestlers tag team and we're not going to fool around.
Mhm.
And, like, okay, but now you're wrestling a couple other jobbers on 0 Hour
Mhm.
that were jobbers all year long. And then you guys told me they were going to win the belts.
Well, those guys pinned Fletcher and
blah, 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 blah,
O'Connor.
blah. So yeah, those guys in December
Yes.
in matches that didn't matter towards the tournament ending got a couple of victories. Good for them. And it's the right thing for them to do. But you guys told me before that this team was winning the belt, the tag team belts, and they were jobbing on 0 Hour. And that's who FTR was facing multiple times. So while FTR had a good year, they didn't even have as good of a year as Brodito did. This is Young Bucks 1, Brodito 2, FTR 3.
Oh, boy. Okay.
AJ Styles and Dragon Lee.
4.
I was going to say space.
Yeah.
Judgment Day with Dom.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Space.
Yeah. Tag teams and other companies are very difficult.
Yes.
I'm picking the Young Bucks over Brodito.
Brodito definitely deserves a mention in there. They've had, like, some of their peaks were stronger in my opinion than both teams. It's just short.
They had a stronger 6 months than any team.
Yeah.
This year.
Yeah.
Just not a stronger 12 months.
Yeah. Just wasn't length. I cannot pick the Young Bucks out of my good faith of just this damn gimmick that continues to go on and on and on and on. We're still talking about this gimmick into the end of December.
Yep.
And I love them. Look, the matches have been good. The match has been really good. The Ospreay Swerve match, as you mentioned, was fantastic. But then, I have to embrace them coming out in sailor suits, or no, it was the Founding Fathers suits. Because you get it because they founded AEW. They're just like the founding fathers of the company. You get it? Like, it's right there. If you think hard enough, you'll get it. And then they also came out to Hanson.
One guy's got, I did like that. One guy's got a jacket on.
That's right.
And the other's got some trunks.
There was the entrance they came out where it was like bankrupt. And I thought the Right to Censor group had come back and they would return to AEW.
Mm-hmm.
So
I did miss a couple of the entrances on 0 Hour, not watching 0 Hour before a 5-hour show.
I had to show up for the Outrunners. That's what I had to do. I had to be there for them.
Yeah, the Hurt
They're
Syndicate.
The youngest men
the Hurt
alive.
Syndicate didn't make our list.
The Hurt Syndicate. Well, that's the big thing.
Multiple wins on pay-per-views this year.
Yeah, the thing we have to remember though with Hurt Syndicate, whenever we talk about the awards, is that they hurt people.
Well, they don't. They hurt themselves.
They hurt themselves.
You know what? I know we're getting off track, but let's go top 2 wrestlers that got hurt that I kind of enjoyed getting hurt.
Ouch. This is a new controversial category.
It's a new category. Look, I hope they're okay in the long run.
Yeah.
But if I don't see them for a year, I will not be hurt.
And shedding a tear.
I don't know who to pick because there was only one contender, and that was Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
But somebody has emerged. Yeah.
Is LA Knight on any of these award winners list? Is he your best male wrestler of the year?
LA Knight is
he wasn't your breakout star this year.
Probably second in the. I hope he's not hurt forever, but man, I'm going to enjoy not watching that guy on television for a while.
Yeah.
He's hurt long term.
Hey, he drops a mean elbow when he's running those ropes.
He's out indefinitely. Yeah. Okay, that's mean. Let's go to the best in-ring wrestler. Now this is a Zach McGibbon category if I've ever heard one.
Yes.
Okay, I mean, FTR probably on those 0 hour shows are going to win this too.
Oh, a lot of bangers on those shows.
This one sort of left a little bit open for interpretation because there's just so many wrestlers to pick from that don't wrestle for WWE.
Yes.
Oh.
What? You mean to tell me John Cena didn't make it the list for his retirement run?
John Cena had a couple of good matches in that retirement run.
In the final bit of his matches there. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would say the second half of the retirement run, he had a couple of
he had some good matches.
Couple of decent ones.
Yeah, the final match I absolutely loved. And of course, because I loved it, the WWE fans hated it. Because that's how it works.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I loved it.
But the Gunther one was good. And the Cody Rhodes one at SummerSlam was good.
Yeah.
And then there was another good one in there. You know, he wrestled Dom a couple of times.
Oh, what barn burners those were.
Well, yeah, they were okay.
Where they build a whole spot because Dom's really bad, and so they built a whole spot in the match about Dom.
Okay. Best wrestler in ring, Zach McGibbon.
There's a lot of good candidates this year. Man, if Will Ospreay was healthy throughout the entire of the year, he'd be probably an easy lock, wouldn't he? Like he just seems to be that guy all the time. That's just somebody that continually has like these fantastic matches.
Mm-hmm.
So I if it was the full year, I'd probably be picking Will Ospreay.
Well, it's the full year. What do you mean?
Well, he got hurt. That's the thing. Like he got hurt after All In. Like he didn't have the second half. Like, and I'm pretty confident if he didn't get hurt, he would be continuing to have these classics out there because he's just a high level wrestler. You know, I'm kind of thinking of all the names. It's funny. Some years it's pretty obvious. Like Kenny Omega is pretty obvious in some years, and Will Ospreay is pretty obvious in some years. But this year, because of the injuries, it's not really as obvious to me. Like this guy is the best pure in-ring wrestler. He goes out there and he just like every time he goes out there, he's having the best matches. Mm-hmm. And it's funny. I go back to my best on the mic selections, my two picks. I'm thinking Adam Page and John Moxley. Mm-hmm. And in terms of the years that they had, and I think about, you know, in the case of Moxley, again, first part of the year, like he has that struggle and he has that really bad match with Adam Copeland that I'm still waking up from earlier this year. I mean, it was a boring match. And like, I still see Moxley have that arm locked in, and I'm like, it's 11:46. Let's pick it up here, guys. Let's not work a hold here at 11:46. All of this to say, man, it is tough, but I'm going to say Adam Page again for best in ring. Only for throughout the year. Again, if it was like Bryan Danielson wrestling the whole year, or Kenny Omega wrestling the whole year, or Will Ospreay wrestling the whole year, they would probably be my more obvious picks, but I have to go with what I got throughout the year. And I'm gonna pick Adam Page. A sneaky candidate is Kyle Fletcher. Mm-hmm. Like just the amount of times he's been able to go out there and have these incredible matches. I think Adam Page's catalog is a little bit more extensive this year. Funny enough, one of them with Kyle Fletcher, but I think you look at some of the matches he's had. The match we had with John Moxley was just fantastic. Moxley was incredible in that match, but Adam Page was fantastic too. Just fantastic throughout the year. So with that, I'm going to pick Hangman Adam Page to be my wrestler of the year.
Hard to go away from it because
in-ring wrestler of the year.
The guy doesn't have duds. And every time he goes to the top, I'm like, and then it's incredible. Like with some of the stuff he's able to do as a bigger body. I thought you were going to pick Konosuke Takeshita. I thought that was the guy that
thinking about him
that you were going to pick, because in two different promotions, I mean, he is the IWGP heavyweight champion, beating Zack Sabre Jr. It's the top rated match and one of the top rated matches of the year. And if you look at like the top 20 top rated matches of the year, like all of a sudden Konosuke Takeshita's name comes up in the Will Ospreay on Dynamite, which was incredible.
That was a great match.
Beating Zack Sabre Jr. The 3-way at All Out with Kazuchika Okada,
Another
Mascara
great match.
Dorada, which Dorada was really good in as well. He was just in a lot of big matches. The tag team match with him and Okada against Brodito, really good. Like, these are all top 20 rated matches of the year, and he's in a ton of them.
Yep.
Wow, this is going to be
It's tough.
I'm not going to give it to Claudio. I can tell.
You're not
Just
giving
out of-
Claudio Castagnoli?
Yeah. Now,
Poor Claudio.
poor Claudio. Yeah, this is going to be really tough for me because I want to pick Adam Page as well. I still think, as you said, this is Ospreay's category to lose if he's around, but he's not. And I didn't give Brodito the tag team of the year because they just weren't there for all the year. I can't give it to Ospreay.
Yeah.
Even though, like, it's best in the ring overall, it's Will Ospreay. It's best in the ring 2025. I'm going to give it to Kyle Fletcher.
All right, here we go.
Yeah. So
I like it.
One of the reasons I'm going to give it to him is because every moment that he was in, like, I thought at first it was, okay, like, he's rising to the occasion of he's fighting Will Ospreay, right? He's fighting great people. Like, in 1 week, I think it was at the end of 24, right? He wrestled Omega and Danielson in the same week. When you're in there with great opponents, it's awesome that you can keep up with them. But it's another thing to then be, okay, you've had these unbelievable matches, and now we think you're a star, so we're going to make you like part of like the head of the group with the Don Callis family. But then you're going to go in some feuds, and you're going to be against other guys. Like, you got to go beat Dustin Rhodes for that TNT championship. And he makes a match, and good for Dustin too, but he makes a match that, like, people remember all year long. Like, Dustin Rhodes, 56 years old. Kyle Fletcher makes a match with him that people absolutely remember. And both Dustin and he took a crap kicking in that match. And then it was like, okay, well, now you're going to feud with Mark Briscoe. And he made the feud with Mark Briscoe, whether it was at the beginning, middle, end of the shows, amazing matches. Every time. And then we already talked about, then he got hurt, or then the rest of the roster got hurt, and he had to step up and be in the main event at All Out. And that's the biggest spot. Like, when you're in the main event of a pay-per-view and you've never been there before and you're 26, okay, like, you might do well, but would you do well enough that we would think about putting you back in that spot again? And I think he did so well that they've taken that TNT championship off of him to put him up. And again, we're recording this before the end of the Continental Classic. But I might be solidified in my answer after the Continental Classic.
I like it.
So
I like it.
Anyway, I think Hanger could be there. I think Takeshita could be there. I think if you really went and watched a lot of Mystico's matches this year, and you could probably put Bandito in there. I think what hurts Bandito as the Ring of Honor World Champion and Tag Team Champion of AEW is that not everyone got to see all of the great matches in Ring of Honor, and splitting time, like, you're a tag team and you're not. I think he's in there too. He wrestled a ton down the stretch. So I think that's probably your top four, like, in ring. And I'm hoping that we can get to the Javon Evans and the the Leon Slaters in the future when it comes to that.
Right.
Storyline of the year. SI had the redemption arc of Adam Page, Hangman. I do not think that. I loved that storyline. I don't think it's storyline of the year.
Yeah. It's not been the greatest year for stories other than the Hangman Page story. I'm trying to think of the other one. It feels like it's obvious that I'm missing in terms of the other storyline this year. So I'm gonna ask you to say your storyline of the year, and then maybe like, oh, okay, yeah, this is.
No, you're not gonna agree at all.
Oh no.
No.
Is it the Bucks?
No.
Okay, good. I was like, oh, I was gonna.
No.
You were so enticed about if they were gonna get that $1 million back or not. Oh man.
Yeah. In the promotion of the year, they should stop with the money matches.
Yes.
I
don't mind a money match, but when you do it all the time, it's like,
oh, it's ridiculous. Yeah, it might be controversial.
Okay.
But there's only one storyline of the year.
Oh.
And it's John Cena retiring.
Oh.
Because
wow, okay.
Yeah. No, it is. Like there is no other storyline in 2025 that even comes close to. I mean, this one started in January where John Cena is going to go in the Royal Rumble for the last time. And then he's in the last two. And even I knew that Jey Uso was going to win, but you didn't know Jey Uso was going to win.
Because I had a sense and a conscience not to have Jey Uso push and look at where we're at now.
You had John Cena. No, don't pat yourself on the back. John Cena, you picked John Cena to win. And John Cena lost that match.
He did lose that match.
And then went into the press area.
Yep.
And put himself into the elimination chamber.
Yep.
And then won the elimination chamber. And then had one of the greatest heel turns of all time in the history of professional wrestling as a moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then won the world title at WrestleMania.
Yep.
Doesn't matter how he won it. He won it.
Yeah. Travis Scott is still walking to the ring as we're speaking.
Yeah, he'll get there. We're just gonna wait.
Yeah, we'll let him do that. We'll hear Fiend one more time.
It's his moment.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? Don't take away his moment.
We have to make sure he's comfortable with the creatively, as Triple H said on that Unreal episode.
But then the storyline of the retirement changed because nobody bought that John Cena was a heel. And whether it's giving them credit or just dumb luck or whatever you want to describe it as, they just decided to get rid of it and turn Cena back, which was the right decision after they screwed the heel turn up. Now, that's not John Cena's fault, but all of this sort of is underneath of the retirement year. And then he goes in and he loses the title to Cody, but he has a banger with Cody. And then on the way out, now he's got a tournament to see who's going to face him. He's winning and losing the Intercontinental title. He's having matches with Randy Orton and AJ Styles and Logan Paul. And then has, I don't know, like for sure to me, like John Cena, his last match and Sting's last match are two of the great last matches of all time. This one literally went from January to December and had so many twists and turns. Whether you like the twists and turns or not, it did keep you on the edge of your seat because you didn't know what was coming next. And he had some really good matches. And he went out and had a really good last match to say goodbye. Like, it was one of your favorite moments.
Oh, I loved
the
it.
WWE. So
I loved it.
Taking a step back and going, John Cena, even though they screwed it up in the middle of it, John Cena retiring in 2025 is easily the storyline of the year. I don't even think it's close. I like what they did with Adam Page. Like, I like what they've done with some of the other people in wrestling, but like with Konosuke Takeshita winning the IWGP and getting into his longer storyline with Kazuchika Okada, which will run through 2026. Yeah, there's some good stuff there, but John Cena's storyline of the year and the retirement tour.
I disagree.
I know. You can disagree.
I'm going to hit you with the classic John Cena moment and say, fine speech. Yeah, I can't agree with that. I just can't. Yeah. I heard your case. I was diplomatic.
You were listening.
I was listening. I was absorbing the information. I was still disagreeing, but I was absorbing the information.
Active listening.
Yeah,
it's important.
Yeah, no, and that's why this show continues on many years after, is being able to listen, learn, and understand, and all of that. I still very much disagree.
Yeah.
I think there have been two matches for me that were really good for the John Cena stuff, which was the second Cody Rhodes match at SummerSlam, and obviously the Gunther match, which I absolutely love, and I still don't understand why WWE fans hate it, if I'm being honest. But if you want to throw the AJ Styles match in there too, you can. I said my piece about it at the time. I felt like it was just finishers, the match, like, you know, like,
it was odes to everybody.
Yeah, it was like, it's like, I got it. Like, you know, it's like, oh, he did this move. It's like, oh, he did this move.
But the category is storyline.
Yeah, I can't. The storyline has just been like, you were the one going out there talking about where's The Rock and where's Travis Scott? You know, where are these guys? That's part of the storyline. Like, that's a pretty significant part of the storyline that's gone, that hasn't been explained. Yep. I can't with that stuff, and then the explanation to get Cena back onto the babyface side where he just dropped it on SmackDown. It's like, you know, hustle, loyalty, and respect. I'm back. Here we go. You know, it's like,
sometimes you just need to be back.
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay,
you know
so what is your storyline of the year?
I mean, it's not been the greatest in terms of overall overarching stories, has it? Like, can't really go to New Japan and be like, oh, I'm seeing the rise of Yota Tsuji over there, because that's not happened. Hopefully it'll happen in January. But, you know, even with AEW at its peak, it's just kind of been more stretched out in terms of their stories. So it kind of feels like at some points it's stalling. And even the storyline for Hangman Adam Page, which is going to be my pick, but I say it reluctantly because I feel like it's a cop-out answer. Because even when you look at that storyline going into All In, that feud wasn't built for Hangman Page. I don't care what anybody says. Look at how everything was built. That was going to be Darby Allin in that spot. Or the way that story was built, and from where it started to where it ended, that was going to be the Darby Allin thing. It just ended up being with Darby Allin decided, I'm going to climb up the biggest mountain in the world. And then Ospreay got hot, and Hangman, people love the Hangman. And so he was more kind of fitted into this spot as opposed to him be the natural guy in the story, if that makes any sense. Smart decision. I'm not saying it's the worst decision either, but it wasn't the natural story that was being told here. You know, I'm not going to say the Young Bucks stuff. I know some might argue the Mariah May, Tony Storm stuff if you want to, but that was more like taken in from the latter part of last year into this year, and also no, in my opinion.
What about Mercedes Moné and the belt collector?
That's an interesting story. It's just, and she is my women's wrestler of the year. You know, that's certainly something. I don't think there's been the peaks that you had with the Adam Page.
See, I'm actually surprised though that you didn't. I thought for sure, if like I almost forced you to not pick Adam Page's redemption arc.
Yeah.
I thought
I don't love the redemption arc narrative either.
I thought you were going to pick kind of the subtleties in where the Death Riders.
Yeah. The second half, I really like that stuff. But again, it's that first half. It's like,
it was just,
God, if they had such a stronger start, like I would be all over the Death Riders. They didn't have the first
4 pay-per-views where Moxley just won and everyone was disappointed.
Yeah, I just can't. It's like I just can't go that level. I just like, certainly in consideration that second half, I'm like, you got to look at some of the storytelling in there, like, and the matches in particular have been strong. So I reluctantly say Hangman Adam Page. I know, like, I can't say Cena. I just like, I can't. There's just been so many negatives in that. Like, I can't look at some of the individual matches to carry me abroad. It was just, I can't go that far. I wanted the stories to be better.
He got pushed out by Jey Uso. Just pushed.
Yeah. He pushed.
Yeah.
And the facial reaction that Cena had. And I think I've told this story. I was at the Remix Wrestling show and they had the pay-per-view at the back and everyone's like, Jey Uso, like, what are we doing here? It's like, I'm like, I got to hear about it from Lee on the next episode. I was thinking about it.
Says it's not crazy that Jey Uso could win.
I gave Jey Uso like a 0% or something like that.
Yo, because something 0%.
But I forgot that Paul Levesque is the booker of WWE.
You didn't forget.
No, well, you know what? Fair enough. But
you remind us every week.
I should have taken into account that Paul Levesque was the booker of this company, and he said, you know, we got a guy in Jey Uso who's 40, but he yeets. He can't wrestle to save his life, and he can't. But boy, can he yeet, and he yeets really hard. So let's push him into a main event slot. And now look at where he is. I was right on that in terms of him being not the guy.
Rivalry of the year.
I have my rivalry of the year. Do you want me to say it right now? It's not from AEW.
Yeah.
It's not from WWE.
Okay.
It's not from New Japan.
Okay.
It's technically from CMLL Lee. MJF and Mystico.
I knew you were going to say that.
I loved that rivalry.
Yeah.
So good. Because what do I preach on the show all the time? The simplicity of the stories and why people fight each other.
Yep. And
this was like the very definition of it. And it's one of the things that makes me like, when MJF hits, when all the cylinders are on and he's locked in, God, is he awesome. He's up, like has the potential to be an all-time great in this industry because he can get it. It's why it frustrates me so much. I promise I'm not trying to force it into the conversation, but you see the disparity from the Adam Cole feud a few years ago with he and MJF to this, and you're like, God, that guy, if he could just hone in on that more, this guy could be such a high-level athlete. The match he had on Dynamite with Mystico, from the heat, the people cheering Mystico, it was your classic MJF bad guy heel disparaging the country, and here's the local hero that's coming in, and Mystico, he's got his old music back, the crowd is singing along, and they have this match on Dynamite that was so good that I needed to seek out the CMLL match when they eventually did the anniversary show, and oh, by the way, it's better than that Dynamite match. It's awesome. People need to go see that match today. Like, that could be a gateway for a lot of people's tour into Lucha Libre. It is so good. That anniversary show was I had to go see that match when it happened, and you have to go see it. Mask versus title. I have to go with MJF versus Mystico as the rivalry of the year. Again, it's so, sometimes when you get it right back to the basics, and I was telling you off air coming in that I went back and watched the old Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Kazuchika Okada series of matches heading into this. And you look back on it, it's like one of the greatest rivalries of all time. And yet it was so simple. It was Hiroshi Tanahashi, the ace of the company. And here's this young upstart in Kazuchika Okada trying to take his spot as the top guy in the company. And it was able to span multiple years and is now the main event in this Wrestle Kingdom show coming up. Like, it goes back to the simplicity of it all. In this case, it was Mystico. You have the evil heel foreigner in the case of MJF, and Mystico defending the honor of Mexico. And you have this crowd that's like super invested in all of it. It's like wrestling. It can be so simple, Lee. It can be so simple, but we get so caught up in like, we have to find these different plot devices and everything. Like, we have to do run-ins in all the matches. It's like, it can be so simple. So simple. And that's what the Mystico MJF rivalry was. Simple, fantastic pro wrestling brought to the max. So that is my rivalry of the year.
Hard to argue that. I mean, mine's a little bit better than that, but that's a good one.
All right.
Mine's definitely the Young Bucks against the company, AEW.
Oh, God.
And what? No.
Yeah, you were so invested. I hope they get their $1 million back.
Like,
how are they going to feed their kids, Lee?
They were broke.
They were broke. They had to. They went and lost it all in the casino, Lee. How are they going to get it all back?
because they had never made any money before.
Correct. They did save it. They did invest the money that after forming the company and didn't, don't have stock options clearly in AEW. So clearly that's also out of the picture. So
the rivalry, I think if it started at a different time, I think it would be Takeshita and Okada. It just is it's really going to get to a bigger level in 2026. Mm-hmm. But it's a slow build, and I like that. This one I'm going to have to. I want to pick Dom in some category somehow.
No, please don't.
But
please don't.
I'm not going to.
You thought the Young Bucks one was going to get me fired up?
I'm not going to in this one. I'm going to have to agree with Sports Illustrated in this one. The rivalry of the year. They call it Hangman Adam Page against John Moxley. I'll call it Hangman Adam Page against the Death Riders, and making sure through the help of what felt like a little bit of I don't want to get too carried away, but a little bit of the like NWO outside group that's taking over, and we've now got the title and we're going to do whatever we want. We're not going to show it to you. It's in a briefcase. And Hangman not only was the one to get it back, but he was almost the leader of the group that he needed help, and he got help from Swerve eventually, from the Kenny Omegas of the world, even Samoa Joe, and how they tied that all in. It ended up being Hangman Adam Page being the savior of AEW is the storyline of the year. I wouldn't even call it against John Moxley. John Moxley was just the leader of the group that was preventing that from happening. Mm-hmm. So Hangman getting back and restoring the world title is the storyline of the year, the rivalry of the year, because it ended up being a rivalry that included all kinds of members of the Death Riders, and then finally up against Moxley. But then the rivalry was some of AEW's best led by Hangman against John Moxley, who was the leader of the outside group. And that rivalry lasted all year long. Even when he won, it didn't go. I thought it was going to go away. And that's maybe what puts it over the top for me, mm-hmm. is that when he won the belt to All In, you're like, okay, well, John Moxley and the Death Riders are dead.
Yeah.
Nope, they're not. And they're still back in it, and they're still causing all sorts of different things. And it continued to be a rivalry. All right. Show of the year. Lots to pick from. This feels like an example of sometimes the first show of the year gets lost, but I'm not losing the Royal Rumble. Like, I'm not you're not forgetting it.
It's hard to forget.
When I picked Jey Uso to win.
It's hard to forget, Lee.
Okay. And then Jey Uso won.
Yeah.
Okay. So your show of the year probably is an AEW show, I'm going to guess.
You don't think it's WWE Elimination Chamber in Toronto where the heel turn happened?
I actually don't remember, and this is crazy. I would have to look up
what the matches were on that card.
Yes, because the only thing I remember is the John Cena heel turn.
Yeah, I remember Cena and Punk having a stare down with each other. It's like, oh, I'm back to 2011. They actually got me with this nostalgia thing. But that's.
I don't remember any matches on that card.
You don't remember? I think it was Jade Cargill that just walked in, and the Elimination Chamber door just happened to be open, and the referee's looking like, "What are you doing? What are you walking in?" And then she just walks in and like takes out Naomi or Bianca Belair. Yeah. And it's like, why did you leave the door open? This lady who just walked 10,000 miles down the entrance ramp just got into the cage as the guy's looking like, "What are you doing? Entering the cage? If only I could close the door." So. No, so it's not Elimination Chamber. I will say that. It is not Crown Jewel Australia. It is not WrestleMania.
55 minutes.
55
That was this
minutes.
year, right?
Well, the 55 minutes was a couple of years now, which is hard to believe.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's been a while. I think it's either last year or the year before. That was 55 minutes of commercials, whatever.
Okay, so what I will do is read down the card.
Oh, I know what my AEW pay-per-view is of the year.
Okay, I'm going to read you the card that won in Sports Illustrated.
Yep.
All right?
Mhm.
And it goes like this. Mercedes Moné against Jamie Hayter.
Great. That was a very good match.
FTR against Daniel Garcia, Nigel McGuinness.
Went too long.
Ricochet, Mark Briscoe.
Decent enough.
Hurt Syndicate, the Sons of Texas.
Oh, yeah. Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara.
Kazuchika Okada, Speedball Mike Bailey.
Great match.
Tony Storm, Mina Shirakawa.
A match.
Anarchy in the Arena, Omega, Swerve, Willow, and the Ops against the Death Riders and the Young Bucks. You had Kinosuke Takeshita, Kyle Fletcher, and Josh Alexander against Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong.
Remember Paragon?
Yeah, and Hangman Adam Page against Will Ospreay. That was what won for Sports Illustrated. Double or Nothing.
Yep.
2025.
Not a bad pick. Those finals matches were fantastic.
Mhm.
If you're one of the, it will really kind of come down to if you love that Anarchy in the Arena match or not, if I recall.
Yep.
So, and that Speedball Okada match was also very good.
Now remind me of the Anarchy in the Arena match. Is this the one where the music played like the entire time?
Pretty much. I think that was the Let the Bodies Hit the Floor match.
It was.
Yes.
Yeah, which was really fun,
Mhm.
considering I was not looking forward to that match.
Yep.
And I usually don't. Like they're fun. They just go way too long, and
Yeah.
sometimes the camera doesn't catch everything,
Right.
or they're pre-taped.
Yeah.
And like,
Those must be so tough to film as a camera guy.
yeah,
It's like, get to the back. It's like, oh, dang. All right. I got to film Willer Utah beating up the guy. You know?
yeah, exactly. So what is your show of the year?
My show of the year is an AEW pay-per-view, as you would imagine.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
I picked AEW Revolution 2025.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's go over the card.
And that's the one that had the Moxley Adam Copeland main event, which is still going on, and he's still locked into that arm bar. But everything else on that, I mean, you just look at this card and you're like,
So Hangman Page defeats MJF.
that was a great match.
Mercedes Moné against
Momo Watanabe.
Momo Watanabe.
That was a good match.
Swerve and Ricochet.
I think it was better than what people were expecting.
Kazuchika Okada, Brody King.
That was a fun match.
Hurt Syndicate and the Outrunners. I went to the bathroom, I remember for sure.
Yes.
Tony Storm, Mariah May.
Yep. That was
Great
that was the last match of their series.
Yeah. Kenny Omega and Kinosuke Takeshita.
Yep. That was a great match.
Will Ospreay, Kyle Fletcher.
Yep.
And then Moxley, Copeland, and then
Cage came in and cashed in because we needed to do cash-ins in AEW.
yeah. So what did you like about the show that puts it in the number one spot?
I thought the overall quality of the show, like that Omega Takeshita match was fantastic. The MJF Hangman match as the opener, that was the spot when Hangman did the wings there, the Angel's wings or whatever, and
Oh, that was
spiked
good, yeah.
spiked MJF on his head, and that rocked. You had that. You had the steel cage match, which I thought went a little bit in excess at the end, but it was still a tremendous steel cage match. A lot of people's match of the year on that card.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I look at that, and so I just look at the overall quality of the card. And yes, was the main event good? No, it was not a good main event, and that's what kind of makes it go against it. And I could understand why people would pick Double or Nothing over that. But I think the peaks on the show were so high for me on the Revolution show that it was hard for me to ignore everything else. So that is going to be my match of the year, or my show of the year. Say, AEW Revolution 2025.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to pick from AEW because every show is a pretty good show.
Yeah. Plus, how could I forget the debut of Big Boom AJ on pay-per-view?
My show of the year is probably a pick that a lot of people would think as well. But what puts it over the top for me was that FTR was on the pre-show.
Of course. Come on.
But I think All In was the show that they decided was kind of their WrestleMania. They were in Texas. They were going to make it big. They were going to tell us that this is going to be the best show of the year. So they had big expectations for it. They had the Ops against Gabe Kidd and the Death Riders. They had MJF with pinning Roderick Strong. One of the matches that we never saw coming that was really interesting and a good match was that Dustin Rhodes beat Sammy Guevara, Daniel Garcia, and Kyle Fletcher when we all thought Kyle Fletcher was going to win that match.
Yeah.
And they wanted a moment in Texas. It didn't feel unnatural. Got it? Natural, Dustin Rhodes.
Natural as can be, Lee.
But sometimes those moments can feel very, very forced. It felt organic to me. And then Swerve and Ospreay and the Young Bucks was maybe one of the matches of the year. You had Athena against Mina Shirakawa. The Hurt Syndicate beat Jet Speed when you guys told me Jet Speed was going to win. The Patriarchy with Christian Cage and Nick Wayne. You had Tony Storm and Mercedes Moné was really good when it had big expectations. You had Kazuchika Okada against Kenny Omega. Maybe not what they have done previously, but still really good.
Yeah. And
then Hangman Moxley and Hangman winning the title back in the Texas Death Match was incredible. I love this show from beginning to end. And I think when you have a match in the middle that's a match of the year and you're still able to follow it up for me with like, am I going to be around for the rest of the show when I've already seen maybe the best match of the year? So I would go All In, but most of the shows that AEW has, there's a match or two. The All Out one was better than I thought as we went to it, and maybe seeing it live in person's different.
Yep.
Didn't quite have the cachet as some of the other ones with all those guys hurt. And that's what you look for kind of in the show, is that after the All In show really is when, you don't see Swerve anymore and you don't see Ospreay anymore, and MJF goes and does a movie, and like it kind of switched at that point.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the hype, but man, I love that show. I love the show. And it had some gore, had some blood.
That's going to freak people out. How can you have this gore on my professional wrestling show? It's not like the business has been built on blood and gore throughout its history, aka the Sheik. ECW.
Yep.
Wild Bull Curry.
All kinds of stuff. We really didn't do match of the year. I guess they sort of did it up in like rivalry of the year.
Yeah.
I still think my favorite match is Bucks and Swerve and Omega.
Yeah.
It was incredible. Incredible.
That is a tremendous match.
I'd probably put Fletcher and Ospreay near the top of that as well. So just some of the 5-5 matches, which is like, how do you get 5.5? If I can see this properly, Zach, with my,
it's a 5 1/4 in there as well.
But there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 matches that Meltzer had as 5.5.
Yeah.
So out of 5, he's given them 5.5.
Correct.
So 8 of them.
Yeah.
Konosuke Takeshita, Zack Sabre Jr., Mystico and MJF, mask versus title, as you were talking about.
Yep.
Bandito and Hechicero at Death Before Dishonor.
I watched that match. That's a really good match that people need to go seek out.
Well, 5.5. There's only 8 of them. Yeah.
Well, yeah. It's a little high on the rate. I wouldn't go that high on it, but that is a tremendous match, though. It just goes that's been a problem with a lot of the matches too, is they've also kind of gone into overkill territory for me, and it hinders them because then they miss their peaks to kind of end off the match. So,
and I think what happens to me too is that so 2 of the 5.5 matches out of the 8 were from that All In show.
Yep.
Swerve and Ospreay against the Bucks, and then Moxley and Page.
Yep.
We're both 5.5s. You got Adam Page and Will Ospreay from Double or Nothing.
That's a great match.
Yeah.
That's a great match.
Incredible. Will Ospreay and Konosuke Takeshita from Dynamite is on that list.
They put it on a Dynamite.
And then you got to Stardom.
Yeah. Starlight Kid versus Rena.
Yeah. And those are the only 8 of kind of Meltzer's. And then he gets into the 5.25s, which I still don't understand. Like, could you just give them 5s and give all the other ones 4.75s?
Yeah. If you really want to go do like a 5+ if you'd like to, like it's so good that it's
and there's about a handful, like 8 or 9 that are 5.25s, including Mike Bailey and Kyle Fletcher from the Continental Classic.
That might have been the best TV match other than Takeshita and Ospreay this year.
Yeah.
So
I remember watching that match going, oh my God. Like that was good. That was really good.
Speedball, like I'm telling you, Speedball, like I know we joke about it on the show about their wins and losses, but in terms of pure in-ring talent, Speedball is one of their best pure in-ring wrestlers there.
Yep.
And so he was a great signing when they were able to get him.
That Omega Gabe Kidd match from January 5th.
That was one of my favorite matches of the year. I love that match.
Yeah, it was incredible.
It was so good. I know you joke about it's January 5th. Like, how can you already say? But I'm like, I was saying that at the time. Like, I'm telling you, it's gonna be tough to top that match. And like that's why Gabe Kidd still gets booked this year on AEW is from that match because it was so good.
Well, and almost to like by association, the problem for Gabe Kidd is that Kenny Omega in 2025 was nowhere near where he needed to be.
Yeah.
And that didn't do Gabe Kidd any favors when Omega like got through that match, but 2025 is hardly around and he's not looked nearly the same.
Yeah.
And so for Gabe Kidd, it's like having that match with Omega was supposed to springboard him.
Yeah.
And it didn't really do that because he didn't have the foe on the other side that was still going strong.
Yeah.
That's a really good example of sometimes you still need the other guy.
Yep. And plus it was a failure on New Japan's part to follow up on that match too. Yeah. Like that was a match where Hiroshi Tanahashi cried at ringside for how good that match was. And they never followed up on it.
Yeah.
It's like, it goes back to when we were talking about storyline of the year. It's like, man, these bookers need to like, there's been some good this year, but like there needs to be more consistency in terms of the wrestling storyline. So man, that Gabe Kidd Kenny Omega match though, like I remember watching it, he was like, I have to talk about this match on the show. Like it was so good. So yeah, I'm hovering between that and the MJF Mystico match at the anniversary show. Cause they're both just totally different matches than what you would see on TV here in the States.
Right.
So I'm gonna, because of the rivalry aspect, I'll stand on the principle and say MJF Mystico.
Yep.
But the Kenny Omega Gabe Kidd match, like, was just like, again, it was a simple match. It was Gabe Kidd was mad at Kenny Omega for leaving New Japan, and he says, "I'm the true guy. I represent New Japan, and you're an outsider. You think you can come back and just be gratiated by the fans, but I'm the guy that stuck around and I stayed around and blah, blah, blah." And it made this like incredible match. Again, super simple. Doesn't have to be so complicated. So I'm going to pick that. A lot of great AEW match. I rag on the Bucks and their gimmick, but I can't deny them in terms of just how good they are in the ring.
Sometimes the matches of the year, to me, they should be in a category of bring a non-wrestling fan in, let them watch this and tell me you didn't like it. Because if you didn't like it, you'll never be a wrestling fan.
Yeah, I know. That's the big thing. It's just like, if you're not going to like this, you're not going to like anything else.
And there was, as you said, you always say it, and you're absolutely right about the simplicity. MJF's a hated American that's stomping all over Mexico, and the hero of Mexico is going to stand up to him and
beat him.
Not let him do that. And
that's not happening on my turf, pal.
And beat him.
Yeah.
So
fantastic. Again, doesn't have to be so complicated, but hopefully we simplify it next year, but I highly doubt it.
We hope you enjoyed a review of 2025 through our eyes and ears. If you have something to say, you can always get a hold of us on all of the socials.
Send it to Lee because I won't see them and he can spring them up on me.
Oh, that's one of my favorite things to do. If you
Yes.
just email versagelee@gmail.com and I'll spring something on Zach. Hey, Zach, I got this. You didn't see it, but let's just do it live.
Yeah, we're doing it live, pal. As Jim Ross said to Psycho
But
Sid.
one of the,
That's live, pal.
yeah. Yeah. The Philadelphia Flyers would like to also say that we're still live. If you get that, then good for you. But if you do have a comment, love to hear it. And we'll be doing a lot more of the shows, not all recaps of 2025, but we'll do some lists. We'll do some like arguments. We'll do some back and forths, and not necessarily through the holidays, everything about what's going on right here and now. We'll just take some things. We got some good concepts as well.
Yep.
So lots to come, but this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's good to kind of look back. It was interesting looking back and be like, oh yeah, that did happen this year and all the stuff. And I don't know about you. This year, like, it's been one of the years of professional wrestling. It's not exactly been an awesome year. It's not been a bad year, but there's been some good things.
It hasn't. Yeah, it's been hit or miss as far as there's been a lot of guys injured.
Yeah.
And I mean, other than the storyline of the year, WWE didn't have a great year.
Your storyline of the year, John Cena's retirement.
He didn't have, well,
look, somebody's got to defend it. I guess it'll be Lee Versage.
Hey, look, they had a tournament led up to it. There's a lot of talk going into it. They got a big number and a big crowd for it. Like they milked it for all it's worth.
Yeah.
But I thought Cena handled it as well as he possibly could have.
The storyline's so good, they booed the booker at the end of the storyline.
Well, I could argue that that's exactly because they're so engaged at what they wanted to see that they didn't see it, and they were that angry. They certainly were not pathetic.
That's true.
So
they weren't silent, that's for sure.
Yep. Yeah. And that's kind of what you want sometimes. But
even though Paul Levesque wanted them to be a little bit louder, like I can barely hear you, pal.
Okay, this is the 2025. We'll do a whole 2025 Booker of the Year.
Oh, yes. It's just an extensive selection to choose from. All these great bookers this past year.
Feel like whoever wins, that'll be by default. But,
yeah.
Just because who's worse?
Yeah. I guess it's Tony Khan this year. I don't know. Like, that would not be Gato. Can't be.
That would not be a ringing endorsement, though, of Tony.
Yeah, no. I guess.
Right.
Yeah. I guess it's you.
You're the only one that's kind of left standing.
Yeah. I don't know who the booker is for CMLL, but I guess.
Okay. So we'll do a lot of different stuff over the holidays, but hope you've enjoyed this one and our look back at 2025 for Zach McGibbon. Z Gibbon. I'm Lee Versage. Thanks for listening to This Is Wrestling.